With the 2021 NHL season edging on closer, it is time to start previewing teams. Now, alphabetical order, cities come first. Anaheim is the first team, so let's preview the Anaheim Ducks, shall we? The Ducks are an interesting team. Looking at them, they have a very young future, but I'm not exactly sure if that's going to carry into this season alone. So let's get into what we should expect from the Anaheim Ducks in the 2021 season from my perspective. First off, if you are new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And also, if you haven't already, please go subscribe down below. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers at some point, 600 by the end of the year. It would mean a heck of a lot if you want to go subscribe, trying to get money off of this someday. No, it's just a little kid's dream because, I'm 13 years old. But, one sub could really help me out with that. Also, if you haven't already, please go check out the links in the description below, which includes Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, yes, I do TikTok, and Discord. So, if you like those social medias and you have those, be sure to give me a follow on some of those. That would mean a heck of a lot. But yeah, anyways, let's get into what happened last season with the Anaheim Ducks. Just a small recap, not really anything in depth. So last season, the Anaheim Ducks played 71 games in a shortened season, of course, had 29 wins, 33 losses, and 9 overtimes for 67 points. That California stint and altogether was not a very good for any of those teams. They were 27th in the NHL, and they missed the playoffs for a second time in a row. Now, you go into the playoffs in 2018, you get swept by San Jose. You go downhill surprisingly in 2018-19. You fire your coach. And then you head into this season, you're like, are we in a rebuild? Are we in a technically a rebuild? I think they are. I think they may go through one more year of this bad play, and then I think they're back to where they were back in 2018, 2015. Because, the Ducks, not that long ago, they were a very good team. And I don't think anyone will deny that. They were making the conference finals, and they were making, the second round. They were doing all this, and then 2018 hit. They got swept by San Jose, and then it just all of a sudden started going downhill. And in all honesty, that's the problem. This team has a very young future, but they need to just hold a sustained success. And, they are going through a bit of a retool, somewhat rebuild now, and I think this may be the last year of that. And on top of all those problems coming along, there's also the departures, the guys that they lost. Now, they lost Ryan Miller to free agency. That was very tough. That's going to affect them significantly because that's their backup goaltender. You take out Ryan Miller, who comes in? You also lost Eric Branson, which is a trade to Ottawa, and you lost Michael Del Zotto to, I think, free agency as well. So, that's also a big problem as well. So, you're losing top defenders and some good offensive guys. Anaheim, they did lose a lot of key players. I think the goaltending is definitely going to show that next season. Now, although all that did happen, they still got some very good additions. Not a lot, but still some very good ones. They got defenseman Kevin Shattenkirk, who was for the Stanley Cup champion team of 2020, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And in all honesty, I would be proud of that. Shattenkirk, I still think is a very good defenseman. I have a lot of faith in him. I think he's really going to bring that defense and the hard hitting to what Anaheim wants. And, he's really going to help out the team. As well as that, you got Derek Grant, who's a good, underrated offensive player. They lost him in a trade to Philadelphia, but then they got him back in free agency, signing him to a 3-year contract. I think this is also a great signing. Derek Grant, another one of those players, really leading this team into the unknown. Also, although this doesn't really occur to this season in particular, they did get Jamie Drysdale from the 2020 draft, and they also got Jacob Perreault from the 2020 draft as well, along with others. So, Jacob Perreault and Jamie Drysdale, very solid players who were in a very deep draft. That was the NHL's 2021. So, they're going to be interested in what they're going to do in the future. I mean, I don't know if Jamie Drysdale will necessarily step in as a top guy yet, but I think that they can get him in there for some time, maybe potentially at some point. Anyways, enough with the key acquisitions and key departures. Let's get into the lineup that I potentially see. Now, on the left wing side here, I'm just going to go through individually positions, so I'm going to put it up on screen right now. So on the left wing, I have Simi Milano, Ricard Raquel, Max Jones, and Derek Grant. You also have Tracy, Max Comtois, Galad, and Kipokaka. Probably said that wrong, too. In the center core, that's a big center core you got at Anaheim there. You have Adam Henrique, Ryan Getzlaf, Trevor Zegras, who I think could potentially push up to second line. Sam Steele, same as him. Agazino, who could be a fill-in player. Gralk, same with him. Badini could push too. Morand, Lettieri, Poltarski, Carrick, and De Leo for the center core. The right wings isn't as big, but there's still a lot of good guys in there. Danton Heinen acquired from the Boston trade. Jacob Silverberg, Troy Terry, who could push second line as well, and David Backes, who I probably think is in his second to last season, or maybe last season. And then you got Rowney and Kindop as your offensive there. So, you got some good players. That center core does leave some desire. There are some guys in there that I could see potentially pushing in. The really only thing that worries me is that right wing side. I'm not necessarily sure if Danton Heinen is really going to keep that. They do have Troy Terry in there, but I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out, in all honesty. And then the left wing side isn't too bad either. They do got some good guys in there. Milano, Raquel. Raquel's a very good goal scorer, and you got Derek Grant on that fourth line. And you also got Comtois, who will definitely get a spot at some point this season. Now, on the defensive side of things, this is the thing that I'm really excited for. So on the lefty side, you have Cam Fowler, Hampus Lindholm, Johan Larsson, and Cody. You also have Chris Hughes, Broit, Goulet, Magara, and Mahura. I probably butchered those names really, really wrong, and I very apologize for that. Anyways, on the right defensive side of things, you have Manson, Kevin Shattenkirk, Hunter, Axel Anderson, and Walensky. So, you got a very solid defensive side of the game there. You got a lot of guys who could push. I could see Axel Anderson maybe pushing for a spot there. I think he will get time at some point there. And maybe even Walensky too. That right D side leaves something to desire. I think that Cody, Jules, Larson, Lindholm, and Fowler could really just be those guys on that center court. Everyone else is basically just there. I think Goulet will get a chance. Mahora maybe too. But apart from that, it's really just the defense isn't too bad, but you still need a lot to work on. And they still have some very good, solid prospects coming up in the next few years. And finally, you have the goaltenders. Now, of course, I said they lost Ryan Miller, so who's that backup? They got Gibson solidified there, Anthony Stollars, Eriksson Ek, Durney, and Dostal. I probably butchered those names wrong again. I'm very sorry. So Gibson, definite starter. I could see him, maybe swapping with a backup goaltender at points. Anthony Stollars is the projected backup. Now, I know Anthony Stollars from the Philadelphia Flyers, because that's my favorite team, of course. You look at that. Stollars is a solid AHL third goaltender, but he's not a backup. I could see Anaheim maybe going out and picking up a goaltender. Seattle is coming up, so maybe they won't go do that. But if they want a backup goaltender, honestly, that wouldn't be a bad idea. And honestly, the odds of Miller coming back are still possible, although they don't have much cap space. It's still very possible that we could see a Ryan Miller return. You got Eriksson Ek there too, Durney and Dostal. Dostal probably that third goaltender. I can maybe even see him being a backup too if Stollars doesn't really work out. So, really the goaltending, there's Gibson and everyone else. And last but not least, the final thing that I do in each of these videos, are they going to make the playoffs? Now, hear me out. No. I don't think they will. I put likely not, but I don't think they will. I think you're still going to have one more season of pain. I do see some very good young guys still coming up for this Anaheim Ducks team, but I'm not necessarily sure if they're here and got into their prime yet. I think some of these young guys will definitely develop this season, but in all honesty, I think it's going to be another year of no playoffs, and I think Anaheim Ducks fans are ready for that. I don't see the Ducks making it far, even if they do make the playoffs, in all honesty. I think Anaheim Ducks fans would say that too. So, as a Ducks fan, you just got to get through this season. I think next season, 2021-22, whenever the heck that is, I think you should be very excited for that. So anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like and to subscribe button as we are trying to get 600 subs by the end of the year. I mean a lot. Thank you all for the constant support. And I'll see you guys in the Coyote series preview.